Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our 8th installment of our Legend of the Five Rings campaign. It's been a good one so far. If you like what you see here, go back and watch the previous 7 episodes. We also have a lot of other good stuff there on the Blades and Blasters YouTube channel, so look it over. I think you'll find something to your liking. Without further ado, we will go ahead and get started. Right, you should be able to see this. Everybody good?
Yes.
Court has closed and the first dark fingers of evening are stretching into the east. Mirumoto Satoshi walks to the veranda near the front of the daimyo's palace. His inky shadow lengthens as he stands for several minutes, pondering. He watches the people leave, the poets, the musicians, the man he will fight at dawn, and who will either be his death or his path to greatness and glory. "Father?" a voice calls out behind him. Mirumoto Satoshi spins. "Daughter," he says, "why are you here? Ogata Toshiyuki is not yet fully healed. Surely your presence is calming. And though I be your father, Akane-chan, your beauty is not misstated. Leave your father to his gloomy meditations." There is pause. "Why do you provoke the samurai Mirumoto Shimizu?" she says. "He is brash, truly, but his skill with the blade is more understated than my own beauty." Satoshi smiles. "You are a wordsmith, if ever there was one, my jewel of a daughter. But my mind is filled with trouble that you want no part in. But it is trouble of the best kind, a kind that brings glory and a lasting name for our family." He hesitates as if trying to convince himself. The sun passes behind a mountain and darkens his face. "The kind of trouble that is best for the people of the Dragon Clan. Though it is a medicine they may be reluctant to swallow." "I will not pretend to understand, father," says Akane. "But your mood has been dark of late, and I am fearful. If this pill is so bitter to swallow, why take it? Is it not enough that your daughter will one day be wed to the daimyo of Ikcho? Come now, father. Summer is here and the tiger lilies bloom, and it is not time for dour moods. The attack has passed, and Shimizu-sama and his friends will deal with its roots. Do not gamble it with your life." He turns to her. His face is stern and looks like the white of craggy cliffs that surround Lake Segura. "It is too late for such sentiments, Akane-chan, my jewel, my mountain flower, my lovely daughter who is as wise as she is kind. The truth of the matter will be settled on the morrow. Go now and pray for me in what way that seems best to you. My fate, as it ever was destined, will be ruled by the blade." And that scene fades out, and as the late afternoon turns to early evening, the camera pans in on a sparsely adorned home. It is the home of Kitsuki Hibiki. It is the home closest to the daimyo's palace, and the companions have stopped there briefly after the very, very tense moment in court. And I'm going to let you guys take it up from there.
Hibiki looks to
Shimizu as they briefly stop at her own home. Shimizu, do you think you're going to be ready for tomorrow?
Shimizu looks over at Hibiki. He gives a slight smile. I will be ready.
I, of course, have no doubt in your skill, Shimizu. I will say I am both excited for tomorrow, but also very nervous for the outcome and what it will mean, no matter which way it goes.
He nods. Hey. For me, regardless, it is a victory. To die with honor in a duel such as this? Nah. What man could ask for more? And victory? Ha! My name will ring eternal, and with it shall so all of you, and they will know that Shimizu is a follower of Inugami Ishi-sama, and I wish to do you all proud by this. No man, no matter how high, will speak ill of my family, adopted or not.
Yeah, Hisoka kind of looks like he's about to say something, but then you mention, the whole speaking ill of your family thing, and he kind of pauses for a moment. I am still not entirely sure this is wise. I do not see the purpose. Yes, he is quite uncouth, I suppose, but you speak of the honor of this act, but you forget your duty to Ishi-sama.
He looks at you. Ishi-sama has given me leave to do this, and so I shall. If he forbade it, I would not. I do not question his judgment, Hisoka-san, and neither should you.
Hisoka sits quietly, kind of contemplating that.
Inugami Ishi runs his right hand over his mustache as he paces back and forth along the floor. His eyes are stern, deep in thought, and his glance goes from Hibiki to Ahsoka and Shimizu, and then even over to Hidetaka. He says, Ahsoka-sama, you do not speak unwisely, but it seems that the tea leaves have been cast. The wheel of destiny will lead us in the way that seems best. And it seems that it was Satoshi's aim to upset Shimizu. Surely he knows of my friend's brashness.
I would agree. He did seem quite aggressive. Oddly so.
So, from Satoshi's standpoint, it is what they call a win-win. Do you see me? Shimizu is defeated, and he hopes that the matter of our investigation will come to an end. But if Shimizu strikes the death blow, well, he is taken out of the picture, and dead man can tell no tales. Perhaps this decision to enter a duel was not so ill-conceived.
I suppose. But nonetheless, I am concerned.
I have seen more than my fair shares of these fights, and though spectacular they are, two men facing each other with their honor on the edge of a blade, they are at times unpredictable. I have seen a man more skilled than any fall in a duel. One misstep, one wrong breath, One misglance of the eyes, Mirumoto Shimizu-sama. Do you understand this?
Do not worry, Ishi-sama. I am lucky.
I suppose. Luck does not always win out at the end of the day.
No. I will strike true. If I die, meh. I am just one more corpse for the world to have. If I am not skilled enough for this, then I deserve nothing more than my name to be sung with some honor that I died well.
Aye. And in these times we do not only look for counsel from the wise, but also those fools who carry wisdom of their own. Onozuka Hidetaka, your many years have given you wisdom, although I know you hide it well. What are your thoughts on this matter? What are your thoughts on Satoshi Shama issuing this duel to Shimizu?
It raises more questions than answers, I am afraid. It's strange that he is so insistent that there not be involvement in this matter, that he is so opposed to our investigation. I have not known him to be so disagreeable. Stern, this is true, but he was once a man who listened to reason. It begs the question of his true intentions.
Aye. A stream does not change its direction of flow without a dam in the works. Something is at work. I agree, Onozuka Hidetaka.
I believe, my nephew, you should take great care this evening. As I said, I have known your opponent to be an honorable man, but this is unlike him. I would not be surprised if there are strange things in the work for this evening.
If I win, perhaps I leave him alive. He will commit seppuku, but perhaps within that time, you could speak to him, Hidetaka-san.
I have a feeling there will be no need for that. No. If the duel is to the death, then you should end his life.
Perhaps. Regardless, I may not be able to control my blade if it slips.
Well, I suppose there is little I can do to aid you, but if it is a concern about whether you are able, perhaps we can assuage this. Perhaps you would like to spar once. A test match of sorts.
Yes! Hibiki turns from Hisoka to Shimizu. This is a good idea.
Hisoka kind of turns to Hidetaka. I do not suppose you have any boken, do you, Hidetaka-san?
I could root around in the house and see. It has been a long time since I used a practice sword for anything.
Do not worry, uncle. I do not need it. I will meditate for the night and pray to my ancestors, for this may be the last night I have. If I am not worthy of this already, one night of sparring with you, Hisoka-san, will not prepare me.
Very well.
I think I will try to go for a walk to put together my thoughts on this matter. Hisoka-san, would you like to join me?
I suppose that would be quite pleasant.
Very good. We shall certainly return in time to get enough sleep so that we may watch my nephew's triumph on the morrow. Rises. I will take my leave now, Ishi-sama. Bows.
And as you get up to leave, there is a knock on the door. Hibiki-sama! It is I, Kitsuki Iori.
And Hibiki stands, and she goes to the door, sliding it open.
And you see in the doorway, kind of covered in a dark cloak, trying to remain a little inconspicuous, Jedi style, is Kitsuki Iori. Hi, Hibiki-sama. May I come inside for a moment?
Of course, Uncle. And she steps back, allowing him to step inside. What is it?
He kind of comes in and sees everybody there and gives everyone a bow. Hi. Much as I expected. I just wanted to speak to you for one moment before turning in for the evening. Especially this one here. And he has a little walking cane that he raises with his right hand and points to Shimizu. Shimizu-sama!
Hi.
You are like a tree that grows on the mountain, growing too fast for its own good, and may be blown down by a stiff wind. But you are skilled with the blade. I have not yet decided if you are a foolish or a genius of sorts. This could turn out so many ways.
Iori-sama, may I ask you, what would you do in your youth if you were spoken to such? Would you allow this slight to continue, or would you meet it with steel?
No. I could not allow the shame of such a thing to fall upon my family. And as my brother Hidetaka can attest, I was no slouch with the blade in my youth. He has his cane and slices it through the air a few times. But this duel, Shimizu-sama, is much different than the fever pitch of melee battle. A duel is cold, focus of a gleaming blade. I hope you are up to the challenge. It is a exercise in focus and control. Your opponent, he will do everything, Shimizu-sama, everything to upset your balance. You must calm your mind or upset him in turn.
I will strike first. I will strike true. And if that does not kill him, I will unleash my full fury upon him. Worry not, Iori-sama.
He looks over to his brother Onizuka Hidetaka, and his eyes narrow a little bit. He looks over to Ishi and bows to Ishi. And he says, You have good men and women at your side, Shimizu-sama. I shall not say such things in the daimyo's court, and let my voice not pass beyond these walls. But my hopes and wishes are with you. I sense that something moves in the shadows, just as you do.
He bows. Hi. Domo Iori-sama.
Hey?
Domo means thank you.
Oh,
Sorry.
full common. You're welcome, Iori says, and he takes the cloak back up over his head, covering his white beard, and steps out into the early evening as the shadows start to crawl about the homes just outside of the daimyo's palace. I suspect nothing dishonorable is afoot tonight. But for now, I take my leave. A man of my long years needs his sleep. And if there is any shut-eye to be got tonight, I mean to get to it. Goodbye. And he
Goodbye,
will
uncle.
step out, unless he is stopped. Ishi kind of says, Aoi-sama is on the same playing field as we are, and his mind is as ours. This is a sign that we are on the right track, Shimizu-sama. Go now and calm your mind. I have other things to attend to.
Shimizu nods, bows to everyone kind of at the same time. Hey! And he will just leave and go back to his cottage.
Ishi says to Hibiki, Hibiki-sama, would you care to take a stroll? I noticed your interest in talk of duels. Perhaps we can discuss this further.
Hi, I would greatly enjoy that, Ishi. And
Yeah.
she looks to Hisoka and Hidetaka. I will, of course, allow the two of you to vacate before I leave.
Of course.
Oh, of course. And he gets up and
And
head out.
Follow him. Mhm.
So, okay, we'll just change the scene to Hisoka and Hidetaka as they walk out and start along the streets. The time is a little bit later than in this slide, I would say. More of a kind of probably 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night by now. Sun is probably just about to set, but mostly shadows are around. Most of the villagers from Ikcho have gone inside, and take it away.
Ah, this is a great night for a walk, is it not, Hisoka-sama?
I suppose so. Hisoka kind of looks around a little bit cautiously. So then, what exactly would you wish me to do?
Oh, we are just going for a stroll. And if you want to hang around for a little while I go and see an old friend, an old acquaintance of mine, that would be best.
I suppose so. Very well.
After all, I would not wish for you to get involved with me too deeply and get into some dishonorable act were I to be caught in the process.
I'm sure he would not. He looks a little bit apprehensive about the whole thing as he speaks. I'm sure he would not, Hidetaka-san. Oh.
Be dishonorable or get caught?
I suppose be dishonorable. Generally.
You have many things to learn about this side of the family, as far as it concerns me, Hisoka-sama. And they would be approaching the Satoshi residence area if Hisoka was following Hidetaka.
Yeah. He watches around, a little bit cautious about the whole thing. Clearly doesn't enjoy the whole, in being in the city doing this kind of thing. He's used to like sneaking around in the forest, hunting, shit like that, scouting, but this is a bit out of his depth. Are you sure you will be alright alone?
If I can be completely honest, Hisoka-sama, the last time I did this, I was probably your age, and it was backed by the state, so I do not know. But I am sure it will all come back to me as a swimmer in the ocean.
Well, do be careful. I will wait for your return. Do call out if you have need of me.
Of course, but it is just an old acquaintance. I should be fine. Hidetaka would actually don a covering for his head, and will look for a gap in the defenses, or maybe even climb the wall if it's not too high.
Mm-hmm. You're short. There are like little cracks in the walls and the fences in between the various houses, and there's a plank that's missing. And one of larger stature certainly wouldn't be able to sneak through. Because if you're so diminutive, you're able to squeeze through there, and you arrive on the other side. Kind of on either side of you are kind of ferns and that sort of thing, and you leave Hisoka kind of on the street.
Yeah, I would also do it so he wouldn't have to witness me doing something dishonorable. Maybe point out something he can look at for a moment while I slip between the planks.
I can just imagine he turns, he's like, oh, and he like genuinely looks. And then he turns back and he sees you like halfway in, squeezing through.
Yeah, so I will... Yeah, so I'm going to look for the main... I don't know how their layout is for their estate. Is there a main house, servant's house? Would I be aware of any of that?
You're looking for Satoshi's estate?
Yes.
I think you know where it is. Yeah, so, I mean, the further away you are from the daimyo's palace is, the lower your status is. So his is fairly close. It's only a couple of minutes walk.
Yeah. Yeah, so he would try to kind of sneak, keep to the shadows and move to the residence and start looking for a good way into the home.
Okay. Let me do something here. Everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yes.
Yep. So you get you walk through the town, and the sun eventually does kind of set. And inside all the little homes, you hear voices, and you can see the soft yellow glow of light filtered through rice paper. And eventually, kind of built into the side of one of the low mountains surrounding Ikcho, you come to Satoshi's estate. It all seems to be relatively quiet around his estate. You do not see anything out of the ordinary at this time. You see no guards or anything like that, at least initially.
Right, so he'll double check, look around again, and then he'll creep closer, and he's trying to find a room that has no one in it, if he can tell through any kind of candle light. He's basically looking for trying to avoid shadows passing through the screens.
So you kind of start to play top peeper through the windows, and you see that it's not an overly large estate, if it can be called an estate at all. It's a home. It has one level, but it's pretty richly adorned. Inside, there's a large communal area that seems to have a table and a bunch of cushions around it, a fireplace, and some other things. Servants could do some cooking. There are a couple bedrooms, and there's also what looks to be a tea room in the back as well. As you do look on the inside, in the tea room, you see it looks to be a gentleman with a bald head sitting and having some tea by himself. And as you sneak around looking in the main room, the main living room, as it were, there are three dogs kind of sleeping on the floor.
Okay.
And then you hear somebody behind you. What you doing there, Hidetaka? You smell the odor of sake heavy over your right shoulder. Looking to get a glass of a scantily clad girl?
And he just tries to cover Mitsuko Fen's mouth. Shh, calm your debauchery for a moment, Mitsuko Fen.
I knew you were a dog, but I did not know you were this deprived, Hidetaka-sama. The men at the tea house will want to know about this, you dog.
You must be quiet, Mitsuko Fen.
Oh, did I disturb something? A young girl, perhaps in the bath, or changing out of her raiment?
He grabs his head. I am doing something very important, Mitsuko Fen, and you are too loud.
Yeah, I'm just a little giddy at the prospect of seeing some white young flesh tonight. Joe, come. What? Is this Satoshi-sama's house? Oh, a
Yeah, Hidetaka's looking into the room to see if anybody's waking up and moving around with all this nonsense.
Akane is at the daimyo's palace. You'll not find her here, Hidetaka. Are you drunk as I am, you old dog fool?
Oh, clumsy me, not knowing better. How about you get a head start there, and I will follow you then, yes?
I'm going to stop back off at the tea house, and I'll let everyone know what a lecher you are. At one point, I thought you were on the road to rebuilding your reputation, Hidetaka, but now I know it was all a ruse.
Of course. You know how I like to play these games at court. Go on, go back to the tea house.
Okay, mate. Okay, Hidetaka. Keep it in your pants.
Tell your son to visit my niece. And he pushes him out and tells him to move. Go, get out of here.
Kind of starts to walk away. No, I will not tell Zen to do such a thing. And if I did, I would not let you watch, as that seems to be what you're fond of, Hidetaka-sama.
Yeah, Hidetaka watches him walk away, looks back to see if the household has completely woken up from that.
Yeah, so what happens is like the dogs have stirred and they've kind of all gone to the window and you hear ruff, ruff, and you see kind of inside the man drinking tea has kind of stood up and is starting to walk over towards the window where you're at.
Yeah, he's gonna move away into the bushes and wait it out.
After that happens, I don't know if these places have shutters, but you know that the bald man kind of goes to the window and looks around, and you could hear him kind of reprimand the dogs, and then he goes back to the tea room.
So, being someone who was formerly involved as a magistrate, where do people usually conduct their correspondence? Like, if they have a letter, or if they have something they wish to keep safe, keep stored somewhere in their home, is it the tea room? Is it elsewhere? Typically,
let's see here. Let me look at my map. Just adjacent to the tea room, there is a bedroom there that has a chest, and there's a little desk there with writing utensils. There are also a desk with writing utensils and a shrine of sorts in the tea room that you can see. You're either or. It depends.
Seeing as the tea room is occupied and there are dogs in the kitchen, is there any way through to the bedroom that he can see?
1 second here. Let's see. The view into the bedroom, unfortunately, is kind of through the kitchen and the tea room. Because I have line of sight, and I know. Yep.
And the dogs are still stirring?
No, they've kind of, you know how dogs do. They get up, watch the window for a while, The bird goes away from the window. They go back to snoozing.
And where is the and the front? Do the front kind of door screen also connects to the kitchen?
Yes.
Okay. Through this little shutter, is there any food that's out that I can easily reach?
No, there's not. Unfortunately, it's too late at night. All the pies have been brought in from the windowsill.
Hmm.
There is, overhead. The home is kind of a thatched roof type of thing with reeds. There's obviously a chimney where the kitchen is, but you would also know that the constructions of these homes are not super sturdy. With some luck and some skill, you could probably cut your way through, but it would maybe create some noise.
Yes, we'll try to go in through the roof then. if that works, yeah. Thatched roof construction's not. Oh, you mean cut my way into the side? Okay. Is that what you meant by that?
Like you could go up into the roof and find a gap in the joist.
Yes.
And probably force your way through.
Yes, let's try it.
That's what you want to do?
Yeah, I'll try to do it. I'll try to kind of piece together where the bedroom is from where I'm at, and then line that up on the roof.
Okay, I'm gonna let Hisoka kind of RP what he is messaging me and what he is up to.
Oh no. Yeah, Hisoka stands for a while near the gap that Onizuka went in through, kind of watching the area, waiting, but after a bit his impatience, his curiosity kind of begins to get the better of him. It's a pretty decent estate, good amount of trees kind of near the mountains and stuff. And he figures, well, perhaps I will go for a walk, up near the forest almost, near the cliffs and stuff, see what there is to see. Hopefully I don't accidentally wander onto someone's house. As he kind of heads in himself after. He's very careful keeping to the brush and stuff like that. Kind of trying to spot Hidetaka without, directly alerting him or anything of the sort. Just keeping close enough that he'll be able to hear any trouble.
Alright, so let me move you here. Now, mind you that Hisoka would probably be quite a ways away, a little further away, right? Up in here, something like that.
Yeah, if there's a tree, he'd kind of rest along one of those.
Okay. So you, Hidetaka, as the night grows a little deeper, you see the lanterns kind of outside of folks' doors start to be lit. But you have plenty of gloom and shadow from which to operate and do your dastardly deed. I'd like you to give me a, let's see here. Climbing, probably athletics, huh?
Oof.
Yep, athletics at 15.
You can use
Void
void if
add one, keep one.
Yeah.
Yes, let's use our first void of this evening. That's when he said that it's been a while. It's been a while. No explosions.
Nope. You're untrained, probably, I'm guessing, right?
I am not. I have not been keeping up on my fitness. But it is enough here.
Whoa!
Ooh.
Your ring must be high.
It's 3.
Yeah.
It's better than mine.
An old man stronger than you.
So tell me what it looks like as you just like kind of scramble up the side of this thing and eventually pull yourself up.
He takes a deep,
Oh, is that
quiet
strength?
breath.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no, my water ring's better than that.
He takes a deep, quiet breath and looks up at what wouldn't have been a daunting task 30 years ago, but now it's terrifying, and just starts to clamber up. Joints unlimber a bit, being stiffened up from all the time he spends sitting around, and he is able to clamber up ever so slowly and get to the top of the thatched roof and breathes out a sigh of relief as he is on his hands and feet.
So as you get up to the roof, looking kind of where the bedroom is, it'd probably be around this area, I think, to drop down into there. You can describe to me what it looks like as you kind of tiptoe across there, and I would like to give me a stealth as well at 15.
All right, and where is the area again?
Yeah, just right here.
Okay. So I'm not going to do this with Void because this is actually decent. I say that now, but I have Crafty, so it counts as trained.
Mm.
And this is with agility or reflexes?
Agility.
Okay.
As he's typing that up. So you RP that, and then Aki, you can see this old man scramble up the side of this building and
Yeah.
tiptoe across, silhouetted in the night as the stars begin to rise overhead. And tell me what you're thinking and feeling.
Yeah, Hisoka is kind of watching as Hidetaka heads up towards the building. And at first he's kind of like, okay, this is going all right. And then he sees him start trying to climb. He's like, no. What is he doing? What is he doing? He'll fall through the fucking thatch or something. What is he thinking going on the roof? He's just like, oh no. He's sitting there like looking for like some way to help and realizing like, well, there's nothing I can really do other than sit and watch and hope this goes well.
Hidetaka.
And sneaking around is something he's done more recently, so this is nothing too new to him. He just kind of traipses along the thatch, tests it every now and then, moving along on hands and feet just to be safe, make sure he's finding spots that can hold his weight, even though he is diminutive, and just kind of hand and feet on all fours, clambers his way along the rooftop here on the thatch.
And you get to around this area, and you can get going to work to get into this place. But before you do that, you're going to fade to another scene. We're going to go back. We're going to go back to Hibiki and Ishi. All right. Good. So Ishi and Hibiki have stepped out. Some time after Saruchi and Hidetaka have left, and they're walking along the streets as everyone is starting to bed down for the evening and making small talk at this point. Eventually, Ishi does ask some more important questions. And says to Hibiki, I have noticed that your mood turns dour and your eyes are sad when there is mention of love that has been lost. We have been through quite a bit these past few days, Hibiki-sama. I would like you to tell me this tale.
Mm, Hibiki breathes a bit of a sigh. She nods. It was not that long ago when there was a brief someone in life. Was, well, almost a year long, I would say. Unfortunately, though it started off quickly and fires burned brightly, it was extinguished just as quick with the slip of a blade, the ill placement of footwork, and he was no more, or so I was told. It wasn't long ago this happened, but I've chosen to cling to it and to avoid any mention, as I did not want to call my honor into question, and it was just easier to not speak of it.
Well, you may speak of it in my presence, Hibiki-sama. But I agree. Such things are best left out of court. Sometimes it is not in others' interests to share your grief. You do it proudly, Hibiki-sama.
Thank you, Ishi.
It is said that the women of Dragon Clan are proud and strong. You do them great honor.
Hibiki smiles to Ishi. He was promised to another, and, well, we both knew it was not going to work. It was never meant to be, but having it end so quickly drained the color from my life for a very long time. But I chose to keep it that way. And, well, everything seemed to almost resume on a schedule, with me very much left behind. But with everything that's happened now, and where it has brought, you seem to come into my life. And it is not something that I've been wanting to open myself up to again. For I do not want the same thing to happen as what happened before.
I would understand how a heart so recently wounded, while you would want to keep it hidden. Like I said, Hibiki, the women of Dragon Clan are proud and strong. They do not want to reveal a chink in their armor. But they would also do a disservice to the brave men of the Dragon Clan if you would hide yourself away eternally, Hibiki-sama. To deprive this land of your beauty and wisdom would be a misdeed for sure.
Hibiki looks to Ishi, stopping for a moment. Are you speaking for the men of this land and of the Dragon Clan, or of yourself?
You are one to needle a samurai who is used to speaking in court and not plainly to a beautiful woman, Hibiki. You see my plans even though I try to obscure them. I speak plainly for myself.
And I will speak plainly as well, Ishi-sama. I do believe that though the one who previously had lit up my life is gone, I believe that you have sparked it again.
My words have never been more glad. My ears have never been more glad to hear words, Hibiki-sama.
Hibiki smiles widely, breaking face with Ishi. And I as well. It seems though times are dark in my family's surroundings, that there seems to be at least a bright light now.
We have not spoken over much about the death of your parents, the ones who I so kindly met there in the tea house on an afternoon that seems many years ago, although it was only several days. If you would take my hand, I would hope to do honor to them and all of your ancestors. Kitsuki Hibiki-sama of Ikcho and Inogano Ishi of Xiao King, we would go far together, I believe, if you would have me.
I would, Ishi. I would think that both my mother and my father would be very, very happy at this, as I do not think that the suitors they chose before were very pleasing.
Mitsuka Zen seems like a honorable man, although his father too often smells of sake and whores.
My mother approved of him, though my father did not. And I feel my father would be most disappointed if I chose to take his hand instead of yours.
Well, the choice at this point is your own, Hibiki-sama.
I have already declared my choice, Ishi-sama. Do I need to again?
No. It is custom to refuse a gift 3 times here in Dragon Clan territory. But here, I believe the phrase is a bird in the hand. No. I have a beautiful woman here, and I will not refuse her. And he probably goes somewhere a little bit out of the line of sight of everybody and offers his hand to hold.
As she will happily take his hand.
And they go on a walk as the moon starts to rise in the sky. It's clear night overhead, and the stars are reflected off of Lake Segura as they go down by the docks and continue their conversation. This happens at the same time that Hidetaka at first gets accosted by a drunken Mitsuka Fen and then is scrambling on top of the roof. And then in the meantime, we're going to go back to Shimizu and visit him as he is preparing his mind for what surely will be the most significant morning of his life.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep, you can stay here, leave.
No, he goes to his cottage on Azuka's estate.
Okay.
But he's been there for a while. After he leaves before Hibiki left. When he gets back to his home, he is a little contemplative because the adrenaline of everything is over. He is considering, what it would be like to die, what it would be like to lose, what it would be like to everyone else, what was going to happen. Would Ishi-sama be okay? Would his uncle be okay? Would his cousin be okay? That sort of thing. Usually when on the, most battles that he has fought has been spur of the moment, or not really any time to reflect on things. He, in his youth, I would say Onizuka and others had taught him the way of meditation to ease his temper and his just outbursts. He's always been very brash and quick to anger, and for a long time he set his meditations aside as he brewed here in Ikcho, wanting something more, and finally he had found it. But it was not exactly as he had thought. He thought it would be certainly exciting and worthy, and those things it has been, but there's a hint of sadness as well, as he doesn't want to leave his friends and his family just so soon. Not necessarily because of himself, but because he knows that he could help them, and he worries for Hibiki and Onizuka and even Hisoka, and certainly Ishi-sama. Knowing this, he walks to a mat in his room and places his dashio on the dashio stand, his wakizashi first and then his katana. He smiles at both of them, knowing that he certainly will have use of at least his katana on the morn. Where did you pull me? Okay. He kneels in front of that and closes his eyes and just begins to be reflective and meditate, and he will essentially meditate the entire night until he's too tired to do so, and he will fall into a fitful sleep. He says nothing. He simply thinks of the one stroke, one cut. He knows that he has been remiss in practicing such a thing, where he has more focused on his personality and his warfare, his straight-ahead, bullheadedness, violence, overwhelming an opponent with many cuts and strength. Now he knew he had to refocus himself and relearn his skill of his youth that made him the samurai he is today. And he will simply kneel in the position for a long time, and then stand in a ready, centered stance for a long time. Just he never draws his blade. He only envisions it in his mind 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 times before he falls asleep finally.
As you are meditating, as is often the case, your mind becomes no mind, and your thought becomes no thought, and your consciousness floats on this seemingly open sky of nothingness, but at the same time it encompasses everything. Every once in a while you lose concentration on your breath, have to bring your concentration back as images of battles in the past kind of flit through your mind. Every once in a while that cold snake of self-doubt winds its way around your spine about the duel. You have to recenter yourself. You're back in the void. That goes away. You feel at one point the recent emotions of your blood rising while you were in court this past afternoon. At one point, you feel the sensation of the blade buried into the neck of Nishiguro, who you killed with a, quote, slip of your hand. I want you to give me a meditation roll at 20.
I'm pretty decent at this. Let's see.
Something does ride on this, depending on what the roll is. I don't want to tell you quite yet.
Yeah, so let me look and make sure I don't have any advantages for meditation because I'm decent. Thought I had some other things. I guess it's just my skill. Okay. Whew. No.
Nope. So, as you fall asleep that night, you have visions of your father bloodied in battle. What was his name? Do you have a name for him?
I don't think I ever made one for him.
You did.
Kuro. Kuro.
Yep.
Kuro?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to give you another shot at meditation before the fight if you want, but... Shimizu. Shimizu. This is your father. Wake without waking. And you are upon a field of battle with kind of swirling, low-lying fog around you. Spears are stuck in the ground. Across the field, you see tattered banners and the bodies of hundreds of men lay slain. Shimizu.
Can I react to this, or?
Yes. It's like a lucid dream almost.
Where am I?
It is here I met my end, Shimizu, my son. Shimizu-sama.
What is this? This is a dream. A fitful dream on this night.
Is the line between the world of dreams and the waking world in which you will fight tomorrow so bold that it cannot be crossed? My son, you will be in a battle for your life on the morning. It is important that you learn what I did not learn in my life. I never developed myself into a full person. I showed aggression without restraint. You are treading the same path, my son.
I am who I am. I am a warrior, a samurai. I am one with a sword. The two swords of the Nitin, of the Muramoto Bushi school. What else am I to be?
You will find that the way of the sword is not complete until you develop your whole self, Miramoto Shimizu, my son. You must replace outer pride with inner pride of self-control. To dedicate one's self to this way demands the highest discipline. Survive this duel tomorrow and continue my journey.
I do not understand. What am I to develop? My courtiers? I am no courtier. I have not the gift as your friend Onizuka does.
You do not need to be a man of quills and letters to show restraint, Miramoto Shimizu. Has your... let's see, he wouldn't be... Hidetaka wouldn't be necessarily even related to him, would he?
Oh no, I don't think he is.
So has your new uncle told you the story of my death, Shimizu-sama?
He has been... I don't know, has he? I speak for
Probably
Ghost,
not.
yeah. He has been vague on purpose, I think, to spare me the hurt.
Sometimes it is hurt that teaches us the deepest of lessons, Shimizu-sama.
Well, I suppose that you will tell me then. If this is the truth, I... Speak then.
Years ago, just before my death, we were involved in a skirmish in one of the villages in Lower Dragon Territory. The leader of one of those villages was a brash young man, and so was I. He insulted your late mother, Shimizu-sama. And while my general gave the orders to stay put, I ordered my men to rush headlong into battle. We were ambushed, and we were all slain, including myself. My lack of discretion not only cost me my own life, but the life of my fellow men. Some restraint is at times.
Even though your own honor was besmirched.
My honor would not be besmirched by following orders, by outsmarting the enemy, showing restraint when he predicted I would be brash. Perhaps I could have outflanked the enemy, outthought him, struck him where he was weak. Being headstrong and hot-tempered makes you predictable, Shimizu.
So you say that I should not have engaged in this duel?
I am saying no thing, my son. The board is set and the pieces are moving. I cannot help you any further. And you wake in the morning to the sound of the cocking of a crow cocking.
Rooster.
A rooster.
Crow.
Of a rooster. Of a cock crowing early in the morning. You are drenched in sweat.
Yeah. He just throws off whatever blankets he had on him as they're soaking wet and just goes and grabs the nearest towel he can find and wipes off. Sinners of Shimizu. A bad dream, a bad omen. He immediately goes and kneels back down and tries to meditate for a while.
Kansuke is watching you as you do so.
Budoka, what is it?
He looks at you, kind of sweating and disturbed, and bows and says, I will have your morning nourishment ready when you come downstairs. It appears that you had a fitful night, Shimizu-do.
Yes, my ancestors, they have come to me for the first time to warn me of what appears to be my inner flaw. If I survive this day, I will suppose I will have to change. Do you ever wonder what makes you you, Kansuke?
All men of substance, I believe, wonder such things. But it is not my place to speak of it, Shimizu. It is my place to serve. But Hidetaka, though he is foolish in some ways, often speaks wisdom. He has told me that only by improving yourself will you overcome the greatest obstacles in life.
Right. My uncle is wise. Perhaps I must improve more than just the blade. But today, it is the blade that I must rely on. Kansuke, fix my breakfast.
Aye. He bows and then walks back downstairs.
Thanks for the chat. Get my breakfast ready, will ya? Yeah, he kneels still, and he'll spend a few more minutes sitting there in silence.
All right. Your TN now is 15 after speaking with your father, if you'd like to do that.
Oh man, okay. I don't want to waste one of my luckies. It's like for something I don't know that I'm going to actually get. Yeah,
it's a rough one.
Alright, it's trained. Oh!
Oh, there you go.
Finally.
So, if you'd like to, you don't have to, but as a point of character development, if you learned lessons, I will let you remove your brash.
I was gonna buy it off after this with XP, but yeah, sure.
Nope. Entering the duel, the RP, the character development, I think is good enough. I think that Hibiki is developing, Onozuka is developing, and so is Hisoka. So
would it be brash? Yeah.
I have either brash or the other one.
Yeah, contrary.
Brash is the one that's like
Brash makes me like almost fight every time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Just being a grump is a little different. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, brash should go.
Contrarianism has its place.
Yeah, I'm kind of causing issues with brash, so.
I'll let you kind of RP. It
whole
looks like
point.
as you meditate and it kind of clicks
Yeah,
about how maybe getting in fights all the time isn't a good idea.
Yeah, he's kneeling and thinking of actually what the Budoka said for a moment and what his father said, that he has to get better. He needs to be more well-rounded. He can't just depend, knowing how he kind of consider. Before, he didn't really consider himself failing in court. He just considered these people dishonored him and his friends, and that he needed to respond to that. But he realizes that he has lost that game, that he was struck, and his counter-strikes missed. Whatever he did, he could not combat them in court if he wanted to swing his sword only. He needed to be able to withstand their attacks with words. For to be brought forth in anger is him being strucken down. And he realizes that finally. He takes a deep breath and nods. And he gets a bit of calm as he reaches into the void one last time from his meditations. He remembers a time when he was just starting at the Nitin Dojo, the Muramoto school of the two-handed blades, and an older child would often taunt him, and he would unbalance himself to attack, and each time he did this, he was defeated quite easily, until finally Hidetaka took him aside and told him similar things, but he compartmentalized it into warfare at the time. And he realized this, and when he went back to the Nitin Dojo, he did not let himself be taunted or fainted into rash action, and then he began to finally learn the principles of Muramoto and his Nitin school of two-handed fighting. And when this happened, he began to excel and become the warrior he was, and he had forgotten this lesson and only now has remembered it, and he is able to now make this lesson more universal in his mind for not just war but also life in general, and particularly his life next to Ishi-sama and his family. That's it.
And you rise and make sure your katana and wakizashi secure in your obi, and you go downstairs to have a wonderful breakfast.
Fish and rice, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're going to move back to the night before to our stealthy bastards.
You say that now.
So, Hisoka's just watching still as Onizuka starts to pry apart the reeds right at the joist, right at the joint of the top of this house. There are a few planks of what looks like really thinly carved birch or poplar, and Hidetaka, you can see faint streams of light coming through the rafters as you part apart the reeds. And I'm going to probably change you to a different slide so you can kind of see what's inside the house. All right, should be able. Everybody see that?
Yes.
Yep. But you're staring down. Oh crap! You guys. Here, so I'll put you guys in here. You're staring down, kind of into the bedroom, and Saruji Hisoka, you're outside, seeing him look down. He has not used your skills in this stealthy pursuit, but instead, Hidetaka, the old man, is doing it all on his own. YOLO. All right, take it on from here, Hidetaka.
So how far of a drop in is this?
I'd say it's probably 12 feet. It's good. You got the bed there, though.
That's a floor mat. Basically. Is there any way does there appear to be any handholds or anything for me to maybe hang a bit and reduce the fall?
I don't think there is. No.
All right. Well,
Couldn't he just hang off the roof though, like the cup where he hung in?
Yeah.
yeah, I'll try
You
to.
can ease yourself down and make it. How tall are you?
5'1".
5 foot. So you can change it to a 7 foot fall.
Yeah. So is the screen slid open to this room at all? Or is it closed?
It's closed.
Oh yes. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna try to hang and then drop as silently as I can.
All right. I'm gonna go bird dogging for falling and just see what we got here real quick. I like doing this, but I think it's apropos in this instance. Falling.
And do all this so that I do not besmirch Hisoka's honor. Besmirch my own.
Falling damage. Falling and drowning. Here we go. Falling equal to 1k1 for every 10 feet of distance fallen. Falls in less than 10 feet will not inflict meaningful damage.
Woohoo!
All right, just give me a stealth at 15 then as you hang down and you kind of fall onto the mat there, trying to break your fall as much as possible, knowing that there are some hounds in the next room.
Oh, I'm tempted to spend the void, but I think I might need it to get out.
Yeah, I don't know how you can get back up to there.
I'm trying to send the. I'm just probably gonna cut a screen, honestly.
Oh, yeah, you guys.
Fuck off. Okay, I'll void it. I'll void it. And I failing here would be terrible after everything. So I will use my second and last void. My goodness.
If you've never heard of UPAT,
No, what? All right. Hisoka, you see him disappear from the roof as he drops in. Hisoka, tell me what it looks like. Did you land on the mat? And the dogs are still slumbering.
So he, kind of judging the fall, he lands and rolls on his back a bit, just to kind of break it, but rolls on the mat here, and he pauses for a second to wait and see if there's any noise. And assuming there's not, he will slowly creep over to the desk or whatever is in here.
Yeah, there.
And he's looking for any kind of correspondence, because so Onizuka's initial kind of thought process is that Satoshi's involved in the plot, maybe because he was so vocal against their argument in court. So he's rooting around for any bits of correspondence, any ciphers, anything that looks out of place from the usual court documents he's seen in years past, and just trying to find anything evidence-wise of that.
Yeah, you come across several diaries, ledgers, and that sort of thing. But you come across in a false drawer, kind of in the bottom of it when you lift it up, and there's a intricately tied scroll with a red ribbon on it that has a painted picture and some script on it, and I will show it to you. And you kind of read it, and it says, "As the summer sun rises, it brings heat to all people, and as the people warm, they sweat and toil in the sun. They are angry. They dig and dig, but find no refreshment, and the breeze never cools them. Who is their master? They have none. They are angry without direction, and it is the wise and strong man to guide those who have lost the way. A forest fire brings rejuvenation. A flood brings fertile ground. A kingdom of resentful men brings room for a new ruler. It is in this space that the wise and strong stand. It is here we stand, my friend." And then underneath the poem, there's just handwriting. And it says, "Take heart. My poetry is feeble, but it carries with it a poignant message. Do as we promised, and at the onset of autumn, it will bring with it good luck, great fortune, and good tidings. Look to Kijo and the surrounding valley. They will rise soon, and the viper will strike. Signed, Inogami Tai."
Ooh. Okay, that's heavy. So yeah, he looks it over, and his hands tremble a bit, but he steels himself because he's realizing how deep this is now. He'll tuck this into his kimono, and then he will. Is this a side of the wall?
That's a screen that goes into the tea room.
Ooh,
Everything else is walls.
Okay. How thin are these walls? If I could test them.
Kool-Aid Man.
Sword, I guess.
I don't know how thick.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be. I don't think they're super thick, like a European construction would be. But I don't think you can get.
They would
through
be
without
they would be
looking
made
at
of
all.
bamboo, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to be an easy time, is it? Not without alerting the hounds.
Uh-uh.
I don't think I can climb back up is the thing.
Yeah, I know. I've been wondering that myself. Oh my.
Cutting bamboo or trying to sneak past dogs. Onizuka's gonna peek out of the door here. He's gonna pull the screen back a bit so I can get a better look at this room. Ooh.
Oh man.
Alright, here's the door down here.
Teary. It's teary.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
This is the door?
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
That's a long way. I don't really see any other way to do it. We're gonna try to slip past the dogs to the door, and
Always waiting long enough. See if Hisoka thinks something really wrong.
if any dog gets up, I throw all caution to the wind and bolt. But I'm gonna try to slip past. You said this, so ping for me one more time because I've zoomed in.
I'm not even gonna roll. The dog will catch you if that happens, but that's fine.
Where's the door? One more time.
Right here.
Next to the dog.
All right, here we
How
go.
much can you move in a turn? That's great.
It's whatever
15
whatever
minutes.
your water is, I think. Right?
Yeah.
But if he's just moving, he could do 30
Yeah.
plus 5, I think. So he could do.
Well, wait.
Pretty big building.
Stealth is blocked by the most you can do in stealth is like 3. I think it's equal to your water.
Do you want him to become kibble?
That's how it works.
It's true.
I was reading up on this earlier. Yeah, stealth limits how fast you can.
Is this the doorway to somewhere else?
I think that's like a shutter. Yeah, I think those are shutters. Yeah, I guess you could.
To the outside?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you can only move a
Yeah,
number.
I think those are windows.
Your water ring.
I'm gonna go to that then if I'm aware they're shutters.
Yeah.
Or the closer one
3
there.
foot per
Yes.
move.
If I
God.
see a closer one, yes.
15.
So that's gonna be what, 5 moves?
I could just run
Yeah.
and dive.
Cut that dog's head
Yeah,
off.
but that wouldn't be in stealth.
I'm trying not to kill any dog. I'll try to start sneaking that way, but I think I might just run.
I'm not gonna make you do a 15 for every little thing. It's 15 to sneak there.
I'll try to sneak and get out that way. Oh, I should have saved the thing.
Oh my god.
Let's see what happens.
I wonder what dogs' perceptions are.
Probably pretty high.
Yeah, if it's scent based, they have a bonus too.
He's gonna smell the alcohol on me.
Oh no.
You're not drunk today.
No, thank God.
But Fen did touch you.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
She's got a point.
Mm,
He was all up on you and everything. You're just loving us right now, aren't you? Oh my gosh.
Your stealth is really good, though.
It's not. He's just rolling.
No, it
low.
is. It's 5 keep 3. That's
would-
really
so
good.
I messed up. I messed up on that. It should be a 23 instead because.
It's
Yeah,
not bad actually.
but because it should take the lower. I think. Yeah, I think so. Well, wait.
Why would it take
I
the
don't know.
lower?
I think I put in the rank 1 on all of them because I have gravity, and I think I accidentally added another die to the roll. So
You'd still pass it.
yeah, so
Hmm?
So yeah, I'm carefully creeping over to the shutters. I'm just gonna clamber out.
You clamber out, and I'm just gonna have you circle around just for RP effect. You kind of circle around the side, and at this point, Hisoka's kind of like at the edge of the bushes, looking to see.
Yeah.
Like he's sure that you've been caught or whatever at this point, right?
Yeah, it's been a bit. He's like, hell, actually, Onizu could probably spot him on his way to climb up himself.
As he sees you over there, getting
Yeah, he's probably like up here, like about to head up, and he yeah, he sees you and kind of just stops, stock still, kind of looks and kind of more than being surprised that you're out here, it's kind of more of a sigh of relief as he visibly relaxes a bit and kind of makes to move back towards the brush.
Yeah, Nonizuka will head off to the side. And once they get a respectable distance away from the place, he will remove his head covering for now. Oh, well, I do not know why you were so close to that house, Hisoka-sama, but I'm glad I caught you before someone got the wrong idea.
I suppose. I could not let you do this alone.
Do what? I was going for a brisk walk.
Well, did you find anything?
Yes, while I was stumbling along, I happened to find this scroll on the ground. Someone lost it. I wanted to read to see if I could find who the owner was, but I believe this belongs to the Satoshi, and it has troubling things attached to the words. And he shows Hisoka.
Yeah, Hisoka looks it over and kind of grimaces a bit finally as he finishes it off. This is dire indeed.
Indeed. But this will indeed get to the correct hands before tomorrow's duel.
Will you take it to the daimyo then?
Someone even better. Speak nothing of this. I do not wish you to be involved in a negative fashion. You bumped into me on a walk. That was it.
I suppose. Well then, let us head back. I'll be glad to be done with this.
You go on ahead. I have to make a stop.
Kind of raises an eyebrow. Are you
Nothing so dangerous. Don't worry.
sure? Very well. Do be careful.
And you as well, Hisoga-sama. I hear these streets are very dangerous these days. And he nods and I'm actually going to head to Hibiki's place.
All right, perfect. Copy. Paste. All right, we're back at Hibiki's. The night has worn on. It's probably 9, 10, maybe 11 o'clock, depending on how long this has taken. Kitsuki, Hibiki, and Inugami Ishi are enjoying some tea, making small talk. And he is explaining, he's mansplaining his how duels work, basically, and showing Kitsuki Hibiki the finer points of swordplay, as she's obviously very interested in such things. And is there a knock at the door or what?
Hidetaka is actually going to leave the scroll on the doorstep, knock, and quickly run away. So that he is removed from it. And the credit appears to be Hibiki's.
Dastardly. So there's a... Oh, Hibiki-sama. Were you expecting more company? I find it unlikely that your uncle Aori-sama would be awake so late. He does not have the pleasure of such conversation as I do.
No, I was not expecting anyone else this evening. And she stands up from the table, goes over and slowly slides the door open, seeing the scroll. And as she bends down to pick it up, she looks back at Ishi with a confused face. I do not know why this is here. There doesn't appear to be anyone outside.
Just to clarify, because I know that his name was not on it. I would include that it was found in the Satoshi estate on a piece of parchment, but not sign it. So there'd be a separate piece. So it all makes sense.
Hibiki would come and sit back down, unroll the one scroll that dictates that this was found in the one estate. And then she, confused, opens the incriminating poem scroll. And she reads it silently. Her eyes widen. She does so. Her eyes scroll. And at the very end, she sees who it's signed by. Her fingers tighten around the parchment, and she rolls it back up and hands it over to Ishi. You need to read this, Ishi.
And you guys should be able to see that again, hopefully. He reads it over, and Inugami Ishi's eyes finish and are at the bottom of the parchment. He lifts them back up to Hibiki. He has to strain not to just crush the parchment in his right hand. Inugami Tai. I know of this man. He is one of the 3 sons of that woman my father is rumored to have taken up with. This plot gets worse all the time.
This is indeed most troubling, but Ishi, this provides us more evidence for uniting Ikcho. Help you in this fight.
And it would seem that Toshiguri's strategy has failed at the end. Perhaps he should know that even if he dies or strikes down Shimizu, dishonor will be upon his name. That is enough to take the wind out of any ship's sails.
I shall present it to the daimyo tomorrow before the duel. This way it catches him off guard.
I will leave that decision to you, Hibiki-sama.
Of course.
I cannot be seen as playing parts in this.
Of course. I'll bring this up myself as something that has been discovered and brought to my attention. I have a feeling Daimyo would be displeased to hear of this.
I feel that my arrest will be hard to come by this night, Hibiki-sama. But there is one silver lining, and it is you. And I honor you. And I will see you in the morning at the daimyo's palace. Goodbye, Hibiki-sama.
Goodbye, Ishi-sama.
And he takes his leave. And if there's anything else, we can move on to just after dawn of the duel.
Hibiki will roll back up the scroll, of course. Pack it away in a safe place before heading off to sleep.
You guys ready to move?
Think so.
Yep.
All right. Map change. Daimyo's palace. Whoops. I'll just forget that Ishi has to be with him.
This incriminating poem by...
All right. Everybody's side okay?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So the morning comes, and all of you approach the town square and the veranda of the daimyo's palace. Is kind of on the inside. The duel is set to take place in his garden, where there is a bridge that crosses a koi pond over many lily pads and cherry blossoms that are now just in full bloom. And you meet up in the morning there. There is a pleasant breeze out of the east, and the sky overhead is brilliant blue. Every once in a while, sparrows flutter overhead. And I'll let you take it away.
One question. Did anyone tell Shimizu about the poem?
Hibiki would have given him heads up, even allowed him to read it just beforehand, so he's not caught off guard by this.
I'll let you kind of roleplay that if you want. Yeah.
As Hibiki shows up with the scroll in hand, she quickly goes to Shimizu. Cousin, you need to read this before the daimyo sees this. I do not want you caught off guard.
You did not you did not write my death poem, did you?
No, Shimizu, because I have every confidence in you winning. But here, she places a scroll in his hand. Do not damage it. This is extremely important.
Of course. He reads it, and then reads it again, and then reads it a third time. Yes, I will. He makes a couple steps forward, like he's gonna just charge up there, but what he's learned about himself in the last few hours is... Yes, take it to the daimyo. I will wait patiently by.
I will make steps and make haste. So this is done. And Hibiki will start approaching, going up the steps, heading inside.
You guys all should have sight on her, so she'll be able to see, right?
Well, he's gonna go up there too.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I assume we're all following along.
he's gonna just stand right here, just in case.
Whoever recommended the feudal Japanese
Yeah,
art pack.
I think it was Rogue.
Yeah, it was good. Good stuff. Saved me a lot of work. Yeah, so you approach, and once you enter the courtyard of the daimyo's palace, it's very beautiful. An immaculate kept garden. The koi pond is pristine. You see swirls of yellow and orange fish in there, and glimmers off the morning sun coming off of the little pond. To the left, you hear murmuring voices as the daimyo, his son, Akane, Satoshi, are gathered around in quiet conversation. Satoshi himself is kneeling near a shrine. His eyes are downcast, and present also is Mitsuka Fen and Mitsuka Zen. Fen looks a little rough. Bags under his eyes. He's a little bit stooped. He is glad to be inside and out from the glaring light coming off of the koi pond. Mitsuka-sen looks pretty buttoned up and put together. And I'll let you take it away, Hibiki.
As she enters the palace, Hibiki deeply bows towards everyone, especially Daimyo. And as she stands, she respectfully looks toward Ogata Dono. Before the duel commences, there is something most important for you to know. New evidence that has been brought to light. Yesterday's discussion.
Aye? New evidence? What new evidence could have come to light in the shadows of the night?
I was unsure as well, but a message was brought to me. A certain scroll that contained within has extremely incriminating words from someone who is fairly respected. This scroll was unfortunately previously in the possession of Miyamoto Satoshi.
Huh? That is a bold accusation, Hibiki. Come! Aori kind of casts him a glance. Come. We must step aside.
Of course.
Comes over behind the screen to talk more closely to Hibiki. Tell me more, Hibiki-sama.
She takes out the incriminating scroll and she unwraps. This scroll was brought to me the eve, and she will read it aloud and then allow him, if he'd like, to take it and examine it himself. I'm guessing there's a fairly very unique signature from Inogami Tai.
Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
Hibiki-sama, do you know that this cuts even my own court to shame? I am not one to turn away evidence. However, how did you come across this scroll?
In all honesty, Ogata Dono, this was placed on my doorstep in the evening with another note saying it was found in Miyamoto Satoshi's possession, but you do not believe it was found in his possession, and you are willing to urge you to confront him with this and see his reaction, if it is genuine.
I see wisdom in that, Hibiki-sama. I show this scroll to Satoshi, and whether he pays attention to it or not, it gives me information.
Hey,
Very well. I shall give this to my trusted advisor, and let him play the part.
of course. I got it, Donna.
And a few minutes pass by. You can all see how this transpires as Satoshi is deep in meditation. Minoru goes up and whispers something to Kitsuki Aori, and they kind of have a chuckle. This scroll was found on your niece's doorstep. I shall think this is quite a trite prank, no? Kitsuki kind of reads it. He says, Inogami Tai? That's a name I have not heard for a long time. But I know of this man. I agree with you, Minoru. I will present this to Satoshi as a jest. We will see how he reacts. And he starts to walk over there. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, Hisoka by this point would have probably taken his place in court, essentially, for the purposes of this.
I'm just shooting Satoshi daggers out of my eyes. Not saying anything, just standing there. He's actually quite furious, but he is keeping it together so far.
Hidetaka would have actually idled kind of over before going to take his seat next to the others in court near Satoshi. He's looking at the shrine. Satoshi-sama, you are wise to offer your prayers. I have heard my nephew is quite fearsome, though he hands mercy from time to time.
Huh? I ask for no mercy, Hitataka. And I shall give neither.
So you expect to win, Satoshi-sama?
A man should not do battle until he has won in his own mind. This battle has been with me for many years, Hidataka-sama. So now, pay me no bother. Go back to your sake and your women. I must find my center before striking down your nephew.
I look forward to making my nephew a nice hot dinner after his victory. But I suppose if you win, you will perhaps write your friends, like Inogami Tai, and will nod his head and depart.
Huh? And Mitsuka Fen kind of pulls him away. No, don't worry, Satoshi-sama. With you gone, Akane will be well looked after by Hidetaka-sama. Kind of pulls him away. The black sheep of the family. Were you up to no good, Hidetaka? Or were you just, up to no good?
All will be revealed in time, Mitsuka-fen. Have patience, my old friend. Do not do your dutiful son a disservice by ruining the moment.
Okay, willpower at 10. I did not expect this to happen, but you will even get him. Oh, he passes it, though. He's a little bit shaken as he goes back to meditating at the shrine. But he's able to shake it off as Hidetaka mentions Inogami Tai. But then Aori comes up to him. Satoshi-sama, not to disturb you before your moment of glory, but I might borrow your eyes for one moment. Satoshi kind of looks at him. Of course, Aoi. Your wisdom will never be overlooked by the family of Mirumoto Satoshi. And Aoi kind of looks at him, and you can see from across the room that Aoi gives him the scroll. Satoshi kind of looks at it, and just his face turns red, and he doesn't tear it up, but grabs it in a ball and crumbles it, spikes it on the floor. This is rubbish! Where did you get this, Aoi? And everybody kind of looks at him. Oh, it was just given to me. No more than a jest or a prank, I am sure. Carry on, Satoshi. Best of luck in the coming duel. And he will lose 2 of his void points to spend. Which is big.
And as this happens, Hibiki looks over to Ogata Minoru just to see what his face looks like.
He does the old movie nod.
Hibiki nods back and looks forward towards Shimizu.
Shimizu standing there, he's... Satoshi-san! Are we going to wait all day?
Yeah, at that point, the sun goes through the window, and the raiment of armor here, just the sun is behind this thing, and it casts this light across the room. And here we go. Everybody starts to walk outside.
Let's do it on the bridge, man.
On the bridge, yeah.
Dramatic.
Hisoka kind of takes a spot over to the corner of the yard and
Even the Mitsukas are watching.
quietly.
I would like to just make a very short aside, as this is why Deadly Combat makes games better. Because if it was D&D, I would have no fear.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's not Inugami you're fighting.
I have betrayed you.
What has happened?
Alright, I'll let you roleplay first how you walk up the steps and go on the bridge.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like see them walking up at the same time. Shimizu would wait until Satoshi gets to the stairs, and as they're about to walk up, Shimizu looks to him and says, "I read the scroll, Satoshi," and very clearly doesn't use a suffix. "You really should just be committing seppuku right now. I would serve as your second."
He walks up the steps on Shimizu's left side, and as they reach the bridge, they walk their separate ways. He kind of whispers to him, "I don't know of what you speak, Shimizu. Fatherless one, motherless one, who will soon be dirt. Come at me now. I know I can goad you into anything."
Ah, I don't believe so, Satoshi-san. Come! Let us see who strikes first and who strikes true.
So you have learned some measure of restraint? Ha! It will do you no good this day, Shimizu. You will soon be at the bottom of this pond and be nibbled on by the fishies.
We will see. I wonder, when you die, will the daimyo see fit to betroth his son to another? Your daughter. She could become my wife. I would treat her well, Satoshi.
So this gets Satoshi a little worked up. Daniel! Do you hear the words of this dog?
He's not saying it very loud.
I know,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
is. He besmirches my daughter! Tell him to come at me now! Strike me down in a dishonorable fashion, just as you did Nishikuru.
I do not know anything about that.
Satoshi draws his blade here. Sing!
So are we doing a skirmish
are.
or are we doing a duel? Like,
A duel.
okay, so
Yes.
so we would. All right,
He wants you to do a skirmish.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's do it then.
Alright, first of all,
Mhm.
both of us enter center stance, so
Yep.
just hit center up
Okay.
here.
Stance. Where is it? Okay. All right.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Miyamoto Tsukushi goes to the center stance and forfeits all actions this round and will gain 12 on one roll next round.
Gain 12.
In addition, Miyamoto Satoshi has 10 to initiative that round. Okay, that's initiative really doesn't matter much in duels.
It's only if
it
only
matters
if we get to skirmish.
if it goes into a skirmish. But I'll get a bonus of 12 on my assessment,
Oh yeah, I don't care about that.
and you'll get a bonus of 10 on your assessment.
I'm not backing down. So. Yeah.
You got your armor on stuff, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I wouldn't. So, one thing on my character sheet that is built in that should probably be subtracted, just so you know, is I don't have my TN should be -4 what it shows because I don't have my Wakizashi out. Because this is like you pull and swing, right? So my
It should be
my TN is 25.
Okay,
Nice.
got it.
Just so you know. So we're doing assessment right now. So roll.
So this I checked these macros, assessment, focus, strike. They do work.
Okay.
Because it's pretty simple and straightforward as far as the coding
Mhm.
goes for this.
Now I do have +5 to all my Iajutsu rolls from my rank 2 technique, school rank.
All right, so that's good. You're gonna add a flat 5 onto all
Yep.
of them then.
Every single one. It's the Nitten 2. I get to add my Kenjutsu rank to all my Aijutsu rolls.
And you have your void points to spend as well.
Yep. I'm not gonna do that on assessment though.
All right. Nor is Miyamoto Satoshi. So he's going to do his assessment roll.
Mhm.
Oh no! Didn't even hit the TN. God.
Roll my.
So Miyamoto Satoshi draws his katana here, zing, and he stares at you in the eyes, trying to measure you up, trying to measure the way you move. And down around the koi pond, you guys can see him step to the right and to the left, and a small bead of sweat roll off of his brow. And I'll let you guys give a little role play what you guys are doing.
Oh, I'm just sitting there with the katana in the scabbard, just watching him, just looking at him, just blank face, just waiting for him to do something.
So you you do get to get one piece of
And that's
information.
plus 5 to that roll too. So
Yeah. Oh, so that actually might. So your result would be what? 22.
mhm. It's plus 6.
I think it's just more if you raises.
Yeah,
right?
I definitely did
well,
not
if you beat them,
raise.
if you beat them by over 10, you even get a bigger bonus. So here's a handout for it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yep. I would want to know what I would just want to know what his Aijutsu skill is.
His skill is. Is it? Where is it? Aijutsu 3.
Well, okay.
And you didn't beat him up by enough to get a bonus, I don't
No,
think.
I don't think so.
Alright, so now it's the focus.
Okay.
Or I'll go first. And he is going to spend one of his void points on this
Mhm.
to get a bonus. Why
I'll
not?
spend a void as well. Oh.
Oh, no!
Oh no! I'll just do it from a sheet. Give me a sec.
I had one explosion.
Yeah.
And what's the gallery role playing as? Hisoka and Hibiki.
Oh yeah, Hisoka watches quite patiently. He stands kind of off to the side, alongside Hidetaka, of course, just very patiently, cautiously, taking in Satoshi more than Shimizu.
That shithead.
Oh! 34, you're going to get to go first, I think.
Yeah, I should be able to. And that was
At 5.
yeah.
Oh my
That's
god.
my
Oh, that's a plus
Yep,
5.
it should be.
Oh,
Yep.
wait.
So 39?
No, it's added in.
No, it's
It's added
34
in.
after it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's added in.
But wait. No one beat it by over 5.
No, I beat him by 5.
No, you did.
By 5.
Yeah.
By 5 or
Yeah,
more.
exactly, isn't it?
hmm So I would
Before
I
more
would
Decker
go
make the first strike.
That was close.
so
You get additional free raise for
every
Or just
additional.
for
It's
every-
additional, so I don't get any. You see what I'm saying?
so
It's
you,
a
so you just simply get to
yeah,
go first.
I simply get to go first, which is good.
I wish I had more void points to spend, but they're all burnt out now.
Okay, let me think what I'm gonna do here. So I'm gonna strike, obviously. What do I want to do? I will raise for damage twice. Okay.
All right, so your TN will be 35.
Is it 35? Okay, cool. Alright. Alright, let's see. Give me a second where I mess with this. So I'm not gonna spend a void. Trained. Ha! Okay, I'm gonna use lucky. There we go.
That's better.
Oh my god.
That's a big hit.
This is a big hit.
Roll damage.
Yeah, let me switch over here. So I raised twice for damage. So let me see. Let me make sure this is right, because so my bear with me. What's a katana damage? Because I have it like changed to full attack, so I don't want to like mess this up.
Katana damage, I'll tell
Yeah,
you what it
please
is
do.
baseline. So, 3-2.
Yeah, so it's 6-2. I raise for damage, so I get 2 extra kept dice. Right? And then I'm gonna,
Is it cap?
or I'm sorry, rolled. And then I'm going to spend a void
2 extra rolled.
on damage, so that'll be 9, keep 3.
Nice.
There we go.
37 damage.
Oh my god.
Oh, let's see what that does to this guy. He spent all of his voids because they got drained. 37?
Yep.
All right, I'm just going. He's gone. He's gone. Because that would put him one above and plus 40 penalty to hit you. He's not out, but he's down. So tell me what this looks like as this very quick duel takes place on this bridge.
Does it kill him, or how does it?
It's up to you, man.
Yeah, Shimizu, he's just sits there and he's watching him, and once he realizes that he is actually better at Aiajutsu than him, he gains all his confidence back. He was worried that the man's older station, he might have better skill than him, but he does not. And he quickly swings out his sword with a backhand stroke from his katana in one slice and cuts the front of Satoshi's neck. His head careens backwards as blood sprays in the forward, and Satoshi drops his weapons and grabs the front of his neck as his head careens back, kind of almost like falling back off his shoulders as he falls back off the rail and over into the koi pond onto a rock. His body just splayed out, his back arched back over a rock, and his head just barely touching the water, and the blood just mixing in with the water and making this dark pool below.
So it's just... And you just see that, and to the untrained eye, it's almost as if the two figures tumbled together, and there was a brilliant flash of light. Shimizu kind of ends up over on this other side of him as he dashes past, and Satoshi just head lops off and plops to the pond as he described. Akane kind of rolls up, goes up to the side of the pond. Father! And breaks face. Tochiyuki looks to the daimyo as if that can be expected, and he kind of looks away. And what are your other reactions?
Hisoka kind of breathes a bit of a sigh of relief. There's no real emotion over Satoshi, of course, so he kind of visibly relaxes. He doesn't break face or anything of the sort, but just finally a bit more tension lets go. It's pretty obvious.
And Hibiki, she's very glad, as it was a very unwanted reflex as this happened. She broke face, but a smile stretched over her own face, and she brought her hands together very slightly and a single clap as she very excitedly seen her cousin, probably one of his first duels, and completing it with such ease. But quickly as Akane runs by and Agata steps forward as well, she resumes a very neutral face, trying to keep it in check.
Onizuka, seeing his nephew's success, he had been a bundle of nerves, but he blinks and breathes out deeply and just nods to his nephew as he begins to walk back.
Yeah, Shimizu gives the katana a quick strike down to flip the blood off the blade, and brings out a rag to clean it off before he replaces it into his sheath. And he doesn't really say anything, but walks back down and bows to Minoru-sama. Minoru Dono, by your leave. He just bows.
Hi! The kami have spoken. And he looks over to Kitsuki Ayori. I believe this scroll may be truthful. Akane-sama, your father was once an honorable man.
Before Minoru speaks again, Minoru Dono, I have one request of you.
Hi.
I would ask that you do not put Satoshi's dishonor upon Akane-chan. I do not believe that she had anything to do with this, and it is my hope that she may still be betrothed to your son if you wish it to be so. And he bows.
And Minoru looks to Toshiyuki and Akane. You, Shimizu, bring great hurt, but it is hurt that is needed at times. For the town of Ikcho faces a difficult decision. It seems you have not led me astray. You bring with you great talent, Hibiki-sama. And also this man from the south, Tsurugi Hisoka.
Hisoka kind of... He doesn't quite break face, but he's clearly, surprised that he's being mentioned even. He kind of gives a slight bow at that.
I will grant you this wish, for I know my son Ogata Toshiyuki holds great love for Akane-sama. And I have sense not from her, but a pure heart. Then Iori says to Shimizu, but what do you plan to do now? It seems our village is in great danger.
Iori-sama, I will continue to serve Inugami Ishi-sama, the rightful heir of Shao King. And I believe we will strike down the enemies of Shao King and Ikcho. And they will not deserve the honor that I have given Satoshi this day. We will drive them out like dogs. We will destroy them. For none should survive for their insolence against Minoru Domo and Ishi-sama. He bows. With your leave.
Hi. But what does Ishi-sama say? And he kind of circles around and takes Hibiki's hand if she would allow him.
And Hibiki would be a bit surprised, but she will gladly do this.
Shimizu-sama speaks great truth. And if it would honor you, Minoru-dama, I would like to court Hibiki-sama of the Kitsuki family, and with her by my side, usher a great golden age of friendships between our towns. Together, Shimizu-sama, Hibiki-sama, and Hisoka-sama of the south, and even the outcast Onazuka Hidetaka, who shows great wisdom at times, we'll get to the bottom of this plot. After all is said and done, there will be peace. Iori just nods, and Minoru gives a nod and says, very well. Does anybody else have anything else?
I think I'm set.
Nothing for me.
And I think the camera goes down to the koi pond and the swirls of red blood that circulate in the pond as the fish swim around the rock, and you see Satoshi's body there, lifeless. Akane is still crying into the pond, her tears mingling with water, and the camera pans up and over the courtyard, up and over the garden and the daimyo's palace, and then south along the road towards Kiro, where you see great billows and smoke rising into the air. You see hundreds and hundreds of individuals assembling on a field as if to drill for war. And we will end it there.
Dun, dun, dun.
Nice.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
More time! Hisoka's
Yeah,
gonna...
I was gonna say, like, we need to go to Kijo ASAP.
Shimizu is definitely built to succeed on one roll, for sure. That's the one thing.
Once I forgot about the luck, I'm like, man, this is not going to even be a contest.
Amazing.
Oh, good stuff.
All right.
Awesome.
Didn't even get caught. Maybe.
I
Yeah,
know,
that
I
was-
can't believe
holy
it.
shit.
You're so lucky it didn't take longer because Hisoka would have climbed in.
Had we measured.
Oh, I think if we went in skirmish mode, I would have had no problem. I would just went full attack, and that would have been no problem.
Oh, yeah. But the Aijutsu.
Yeah, that was what I was worried
Got
about.
it.
I was like, how good is this guy gonna be? How much?
Oh,
Yeah,
his void ring
Like,
is
oh
3,
no, he sucks.
yeah.
Oh shit.
He got void.
And then
but he got,
Yeah,
he,
you're
got,
really
he, got,
good.
he got void debuffed
Okay. Angry.
because you can use void, although it wouldn't have mattered with that
Mhm.
damage roll. You could also use void to take away 10 damage.
Yep.
So I thought it'd be closer than that, but it was good,
I was
Is that-
great. Oh my
as
god.
it should be.
Well,
Cinematic
yeah,
as
we did the
fuck.
setup. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Everybody needs that dirty old uncle.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and the thing is, we don't even
Nephew
know,
got the
like,
job done.
2 of us don't
Hisoka
even know it was
knows.
you. Yeah,
Hisoka
Hisoka
will
knows, but 2
always
of us
know.
don't.
He was stressed out during it. He didn't even like sitting in there.
He's like,
Please, somebody don't come talk to me right now.
Terrible.
All of this is the test of your patience, cousin. If you
like
pass, you earn your right to be here.
to party.
Now you can come and visit Geisha with me, since your wife left you because she hates your guts.
Does hate his
Because
guts.
your wife is so terrible.
It's so sad though, cause he loves her. He won't go see Geisha.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. You just gotta be
Wow.
like,
I've seen gay shit, to be fair.
it's gotta be like Hibiki and Ishi. It's good.
Right.
Easy.
What? Kill her off by mistake?
Oh, Shimizu's so happy right now. He's like, ah, Hibiki and Nishi, yes, perfect. You can have little
Everything-
babies
Yeah.
that I will hate.
I get to talk shit